Uh, Purnima Nath, good evening. Thank you for speaking to Times Now. I have been seeing.
Sure, thank you.
Namaskar, sir. Ma'am. Thank you for your time. I have been reading your tweets. Why are you so outraged by this legislation?
I'm not able to hear you. Could you ask me again?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Is the line better? We are having a few issues, but if you can hear me, I have a straightforward question to begin with. Why do you think
Yes.
this legislation is a problem?
So, thank you so much for asking this important question. The basis of the law itself is wrong. If you pass a law based on certain issues that happens. First question is, this particular law was passed in Seattle, and I wanted to know how many cases even registered or logged with the law enforcement in Seattle. There is none, absolutely none. Okay, the basis of this law is a Cisco case that was filed in California. So, and that has been going on for 3 years with no judgment. How does that particular case with no judgment becomes the basis of this law? And then there is no cases registered, but hearsay stories and fabricated stories from here, and the data that was provided by dubious organizations like Equality Lab. And if you look at these organizations and see infamous Stain Marie Rajan, who calls herself Dalit Diva, and she's a Christian Dalit. How can you be a Dalit and Christian? Right, and then she's her mom and dad both are doctors. How can you be a doctor if you are untouchables? I mean, you are in America, you have never been to India, you know so much about caste, and you want to pass laws on caste and impose policies and agendas against us Hindus as a Christian. So yesterday's public comments, if you hear those comments, if your blood doesn't boil, then I don't know what will, because there were major people came around with Christian backgrounds, and they were saying, because it's happening, caste issues are happening in India, that's why Seattle must take the banner of a leader. That's why they must pass it over
Okay, so
here.
Purnima Nath, what you're essentially saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is that there is this lobby, and I'm using the words you've used. You are saying that this is a propaganda by the leftist, Islamo-Marxist, Christian, liberal lobby to paint Hindus in a bad light. And you're saying that they want to dismantle something which does not exist.
Yes, they actually want to target Hindus and Indian Americans, because in general our nature is not to get into politics, or we're not involved in social issues. We are involved in jobs. We are just focused on schools and etc. We're very law abiding citizens. We don't have any hanky panky going on. We're legal citizens coming over here, and if you look at the entire nexus, it's basically they are targeting the folks who's Indian American, Hindus especially, and using this caste, they want to dominate us, they want to finish us, they want to literally align and make us as if we are white supremacist. Where casteism is a white supremacy. That's the alignment that is happening in the United States right now.
You've also linked some of the members who were involved in this campaign to the anti-CAA crusade, that one saw in America. Is that correct?
Yes. So this is the past. Seattle was the first Democrat city, left-wing Democrat city, that passed anti-CAA resolution in United States. After that, 7 cities passed it, including my own. And there is it's basically hush-hush events that has happened. And no Hindu leaders even know that this kind of resolutions are getting passed in their Democrat cities. And the last one that I know of that was started was Chicago 2 years ago. So yes, and it's the same exact nexus of Equality Lab and the IAAMC, which is Indian American Muslim Council, and then also the Christian counterparts who are working with U.S. State Department agencies, was working to make sure that Indian Americans, especially the Hindus, are labeled and cancelled everywhere. This particular law, Shama Sawant, who has pushed this particular law, she is not going to be quiet, because she was with the anti-CAA laws in all the cities in the United States. Now she's going to push this one as a nationwide as well. So the danger that as a Hindus and Indian Americans are going to face in the workforce, in the
Right. So what you're
schools,
saying is that this is not just an attempt to malign Hindus, paint them in bad light, but also an attempt to paint India in a poor light. Thank you, Purnima Nath, for your time. Thank you for speaking to us. The other side, obviously, viewer says that because the existing framework did not have enough teeth, this legislation was necessary to fight all forms of oppression. Leaving it at that, taking a quick break.